All right, today we're jumping into the Agile Advantage. This is a big one. It's a whole philosophy that has totally changed the game for how we build things, not just the final product, but the teams that create them.
Whew. Does this question hit a little close to home? Maybe you've heard it in a job interview, or maybe you've just lived it, being on a team that just feels stuck. Where everything feels like you're wading through mud and nobody's really sure who's in charge of what?
Yeah, it's a story we all know. You start a project, everyone's excited, and then it happens. Misalignment creeps in, you end up doing a ton of rework, and honestly, everyone just gets frustrated. You build something, and it turns out it's not even what the customer wanted. So you go back to the drawing board. Morale just tanks. There has to be a better way, right? Well, there is. And it's called the Agile approach. But look, this isn't just some new set of rules to follow. It's a completely different way of thinking. And it's designed to attack those exact problems misalignment, rework, and all that frustration right at the source. So, what is Agile, really? At its heart, it's all about three things. First, iterative progress. That just means we build in small, quick cycles, not in one giant go. Second, close collaboration. This is huge. It means everyone, the developers, the customers, everyone is talking all the time. And third, adaptability. This is key. We don't just put up with change, we actually expect it and welcome it. Okay, so that's the philosophy. But how does that actually get you a better product? Let's dive into that first. How do we get away from just guessing what people want and start delivering real, actual value? It all comes down to this cycle. See, instead of some massive launch date 2 years from now, agile teams work in these short little bursts, usually a couple of weeks long, called sprints. And every single sprint, they plan something small, they build it, they test it, and they deliver a working piece of the software. Then, and this is the magic part, they get feedback and do it all over again. It's this constant loop of building, learning, and improving. And that's why this cycle is so powerful. You're constantly talking to your customers. They're not just some name on a contract, they're your partners in building this thing. That constant feedback is your number one defense against spending months or even years building the wrong product. And right here, you can see the huge difference in mindset. A traditional plan is rigid, it's brittle. The first time it runs into a real world problem, it just shatters. But an agile plan, it's built to be flexible. And why does that matter so much? Because when the market changes, or a competitor does something new, or your customer has a brilliant idea, your team can pivot. You can adapt without throwing the whole project into chaos. That flexibility is a serious competitive advantage. At the end of the day, all of this leads to one thing: happier customers. Think about it. They get useful features delivered to them way sooner. The final product actually solves their problem because they helped build it. And because you're testing constantly, the quality is just so much higher. It's a win-win-win. Okay, so Agile helps you build a better product. Got it. But it doesn't stop there. It's also about creating a smarter, more effective team. So let's talk about how you get your team out of that state of friction and into a state of real productive flow. Agile really strengthens teams in three major ways. First, it cranks up communication and transparency to a whole new level. Second, it gives you a way to deal with something called technical debt before it becomes a monster. And third, it literally bakes the idea of getting better all the time right into the team's weekly routine. So, how does this actually work? Well, one of the most famous parts of Agile is the daily stand up. It's a super quick meeting, like 15 minutes max, where everyone on the team says what they did yesterday, what they're doing today, and if anything is blocking them. This one simple habit absolutely destroys information silos and makes sure everyone is on the same page every single day. Let's talk about that term I mentioned, technical debt. What is it? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like credit card debt. You can take a shortcut now to save some time. That's like buying something on credit, but you will have to pay it back later. And you'll pay it back with interest in the form of bugs, slow performance, and a nightmare of a time trying to make future updates. And that's why this is so critical. Agile forces teams to pay down that debt regularly, to clean up their code and fix those shortcuts inside each sprint. It makes sure that you're always building on a solid foundation, not a house of cards that's just waiting to collapse. Okay, so let's zoom all the way out. We've got better products, we've got smarter, happier teams. What's the big picture business advantage here? Why does this matter to someone who isn't writing code every day? It really boils down to three huge business outcomes. First, because you're delivering in small chunks, you get your product to market way faster. Second, because you're getting constant feedback, you massively reduce the risk of wasting time and money building the wrong thing. And third, because of all the collaboration and testing, you just end up with a higher quality product. Just look at this breakdown. For every major challenge a project faces, whether it's changing customer needs, keeping the team aligned, or ensuring quality, the traditional way often creates more problems. The Agile way, on the other hand, provides a solution that actually turns each of those challenges into a strength. It's a completely different game plan. So there you have it. The framework is there, the principles are clear, and the results speak for themselves. Agile offers you the playbook. The only real question left is, how is your team going to use it to win the game?